Nickel. We're so glad you all are here. We have a full boat today, so that's a really good thing for our last sail out of Wilmington, so thank you. We have a couple more sails coming up next weekend out of Chestertown. We call it our Down Rig Festival. Sultana, which is Maryland's tall ship, they actually host it. So if you're down in the Maryland area, down in Chestertown, come take a look. It's a lot of fun. There's several tall ships that are there. We'll be there, the Sultana, probably the Mirwald, which is out of Jersey, and the Pride of Baltimore, out of Baltimore as well. So again, thank you for coming and sailing with us. I'm going to give you a little bit of history about our boat, about our ship. My husband would tell you, he's a retired Coast Guard, he'll tell you that this is a boat, not a ship, because, anybody know why? Because you can put a boat on a ship. So if you look at the big Navy and Coast Guard cutters, this ship might fit on one of theirs. But I keep telling them we have these tall masts, so I don't think it would fit, so we're a ship. Kalmar Nickel. So the original ship, this is a reproduction, a replica, of what we believe the original Kalmar Nickel looked like. There was a lot of research that went into designing and building her. Took several years from boat architects and whatnot, shipwrights, to come up with what we believe the original ship looked like. We know what ships of her era look like. She is called a Dutch Pennant. She is, all of our rigging and our sails are based off of another ship called the Vasa. The Vasa is actually a museum now in Stockholm, so if you ever get over to Stockholm, please stop in and see the Vasa. The Vasa was a military ship, and the King of Sweden decided that there weren't enough guns and not enough decks, and so more guns, more decks were put on. She was launched, over she went. They raised her in the early 1900s, and she is now a museum. So our rigging and our sails are based off of what we know from the Vasa, because she was built about the same time that this ship was. The original ship was built back in about 1625, and in December of 1637, the King of Sweden decided that he wanted to come over to the New World. So they loaded her up, put some military folks on board, a couple of pilgrims, if you will, and set out, and she didn't get very far, and a storm hit. Storm caused a lot of damage. So she went back into port, fixed her damage, and around about the 1st of January 1638, she was set out again for the New World. It took her 3 months to come across the Atlantic, to land at the Rocks, which is just this side of Fort Christina. So on the way back, you will see, when we pass by Fort Christina, you'll see this big monolith that has the ship on the top. I don't know if anybody noticed that on the way out. But just this side of the monolith is a small outcropping of rocks. That's where we believe that the original Kalmar Nickel landed. So 1638. So about March of